They call it the blood right. Try not to get hung up on the name. Jordan Summers sipped his cappuccino and considered the contract in front of him. The simple language wouldn't hold up in any human court, but would bind him all the same. Let's go over it point by point. Sure thing. Middle-aged and charmingly shabby, with a battered camera slung over one shoulder, Jay was a portrait of the starving artist, but Jordan had spent his whole life walking around in a false skin. He knew a mass when he saw one. 25 acres and an old moldering lodge, 20 miles out of freedom, citizenship in Halfway Bay and all the associated rights and duties. And my friends must make their own decisions. Jordan sighed and looked out the window of the trendy downtown cafe, observing the hustle and bustle of Seattle at Christmas time. Seattle was the de facto capital of his family's empire, the paradise that had become his prison. He knew that Will, Hunter, Adam, and Owen felt just as trapped as he did, but no matter how hard he tried, he hadn't been able to convince a single one of them to escape with him. If he went through with this, he'd be going it alone. And my end of the bargain? Jordan sat back in his chair, trying to play it cool, but they both knew the truth. Jay was offering Jordan the only chance he'd ever get to forge a better life. Jay would dictate terms, and Jordan would accept. You will be a good steward of the land given to you. Land is somewhat sacred in the Bay and must be treated as such. I can do that. We were made to kill the world. An intrusive voice in the back of his head reminded him, but he pushed it away. I wish more people thought that way. Second, you will be a good member of the community. Don't need to run for mayor or anything. Just don't make any graffiti or get busted for public urination. Jordan chuckled. Simple enough. Finally, in keeping with the ultimate goal of the blood right, you will be required to marry a local woman. Jay gave him an apologetic smile. You don't get to choose which one. When Sawyer Pathlighter had opened her front door that midwinter's eve, she'd wondered if she would live to see midwinter. Finn and Blake had been waiting on the doorstep, but instead of leaving her in the dirt somewhere in Scotland Park, they'd simply escorted her to the festival at Trailsend. Standing in the snow at the edge of the clearing, far from the crackling flames of the Geoloch, Sawyer watched Astrid take the stage. What was Astrid planning, and why was she forcing Sawyer to witness it? Tonight is a special night indeed. Astrid's voice carried clear and bright to the shadows where Sawyer hid. Halfway Bay is a cradle of abundance and the home of the strongest folk. Once a generation, there comes a time where abundance must be shared, when our ranks must be bolstered. I, Astrid Fiala, High Priestess of the Forning, declare a blood right. Sawyer thought she might faint. Sawyer Pathlighter, it is my great pleasure to extend to you this honor. Before these men who stand as witness and those unseen who watch in darkness, I would promise you. She was aware of hundreds of eyes seeking her in the darkness. She backed up toward the tree line, then figures closed in around her. She started to panic, but their touch was familiar, protective. Leah? She reached for them as she began to make out their features in the darkness. Audrey, Katie. She'd barely seen them this past year, hadn't been sure they still considered her a friend, but here they were in her darkest moment. Above and below, Leah murmured. Why would Astrid do that? Katie asked. Isn't it obvious? Sawyer said. To torture me. Audrey and Katie traded a glance. Shut up, Sawyer said. Like either of you would want Astrid picking out your husband. No one wants that, Leah said. I'll leave. Pardon? Audrey said. I don't know what she's planning. I don't care. If her plan involves me being a part of the blood right, then I won't. I'll make a new life outside. I'll find Mom. The thought of leaving filled her with grief, but she fought through it. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll never let her win. Leah sighed. Yeah, she'll never see that one coming. She knows you'd run, Audrey said. That is her plan. Sawyer stiffened when she heard the crunch of snow beneath a boot, but looked up to see it was just Leah's little sister, Adina. Leah shooed her away, to no effect. But doesn't she win if I stay? She gets to pick my husband. She'll pick someone she can control and use him to get what she wants anyway. Yes, Leah said. Definitely. He'll be alone in a strange land, Audrey said cheerfully. The bay's a hard place for an outsider. A scary place, Leah said. Terrifying even. Right then, Katy clapped. We'll cow him into submission. If he doesn't submit, we'll drive him out. If he won't leave, I'll kill him. Katy! Sawyer couldn't hold back a smile. Even after she shut them out, they were all ready to fight for her without a second thought. Then a chill ran up her spine when she remembered why she'd shut them out. I can't ask anyone to do that. This isn't a game. Astrid might... You should stay out of her way. Don't get involved. Too late, Audrey said. Harold was a father to all of us. Chloe was our sister. You're our sister. She took them, but she won't take you. We'll stop her. Drag her, take me if we don't. We're in this together. Together, Leah said. Together, Katy said. Arina stepped forward a little awkwardly. Together. Sawyer looked at them, all looking at her. Love and terror playing tug-of-war with her heart. She swallowed. She nodded. Together.